Time to be human again, isn't it? Boy, this last season of COVID, it isolated us. It frightened us of other human beings because when we saw somebody with a mask or went to a store, we withdrew, we moved away from people. But we're not designed for that. You see, humans are designed to be with humans. And one of the characteristics that we have is to be generous with each other. That's exactly how God created us. That humans, to be human, means to be generous with another human. But during the season of isolation, I think we've become very greedy. Which you might say, greedy? I haven't become greedy. Are you kidding? When I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see greed in the mirror. I see a wonderful, loving person. But actually, we become greedy. The definition of greed is, if it's in my hand, I think it belongs to me. It's mine. But actually, that's not true. And I know it's not true for you, and it's not true for me. Because one day I was looking on the back of our furniture at our house, and I noticed my kids' names on the different pieces of furniture in our house. Did you realize that your kids and my kids, they're already talking about what stuff they're going to get from us when we die? Yeah, you're going to die, I'm going to die, and it's going to get passed on to the next generation. You see, we came into this world naked, and we're going to leave in a suit, I think. But we're not going to take any of the stuff that we have, which means during our lifetime, the stuff we have is on loan to us. We're just managing it because we can't take it with us after we leave this earth. So everything we have really doesn't belong to us. But for some reason, we got the idea that if it's in my hand, it belongs to me. But actually, that's not true. But that's what greed is. You see, to be human means to be generous with other people. And Jesus, a long time ago, tried to set us free from greed, tried to help us not be greedy and help us to be free from being enslaved with this idea that we need to manage or control our stuff, and our stuff is our stuff. And Jesus said this a long, long time ago. He said that wherever your treasure is, that is where your heart goes. And what God is interested is in our hearts, not our stuff. God created everything. He doesn't need our stuff. But God wants to set us free from greed, the power of greed in us, because it keeps us from being human to other human beings. You see, a while back, I had a chance to go and buy this iPhone, and I love this thing. I mean, it's almost better than a computer. But the moment I bought this, and I spent a lot of money, something from my heart went to this phone. Because wherever your treasure is, whatever you buy, whatever you spend, there's a piece of your heart that goes to it. And so that's why Jesus said, wherever your treasure is, there is your heart. And God wants our hearts. So let's talk about your treasures. That when we give things away, when we're generous, our hearts are generous towards other people. Jesus also said, you cannot serve two masters. You either serve God or you serve Satan. No, it doesn't say that. You either serve God or you serve your money, your stuff, your manna. And so those are the things that are fighting for our hearts, either to be generous and be human towards God and others, or to be in control of our stuff. You see, our generosity says a lot about our hearts. It says more about our hearts, it says more about us than anything else. Because Jesus talked more about money and our stuff than any other subject, love, heaven, and hell, and all of those put together. So to be human again means to be generous, to learn to be generous. It's not natural for us. You see, my kids never said to me, hey, Mom, Dad, look how generous I am. No, they never did that. I had to teach them to be generous because they were always fighting over their toys, over their stuff. They know how to be greedy. You and I know how to be greedy. But in 1 Timothy, the Apostle Paul said in teaching this young church, teach them to be generous, be rich in generosity towards one another. It's a learned behavior. To be generous is learned, but that's what it means to be human. So how can we be human again? How can we be generous with the people around us, the people we love? Let's find out together.